Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our fifth session in our series on having integrity. I hope you've been enjoying the series so far. As always, if you would like to leave answers to the questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section down below, either on the YouTube page or on the church's Facebook page, or even on my Facebook page, where this will also be posted. For those of you following along in your Bibles at home, we will be reading from the Gospel of Mark, chapter 12, verses 13 through 17. This is Jesus talking about paying taxes to Caesar. It's a sort of famous passage, doesn't really need much background information. But before we jump into the text itself, we do have a couple icebreaker questions. First is, whose picture appears on a $5 bill, 10, 20, 50, and 100? Ooh, let's see if I can get this right. The $5 bill is Abraham Lincoln. The $20 bill is Benjamin Franklin. The 50 is Taft. The 20 is Andrew Jackson. The 100 is Benjamin Franklin. And the $10 bill, I am drawing a blank. Shows how much I carry cash anymore. Well, anyway. The second icebreaker question, is what subject is guaranteed to spark a debate in your family? Detroit Tigers statistics. My dad, my brothers, myself, my nephews, my grandfathers when they were alive. Basically just the Detroit Tigers arguments over what they could have done better in the last game 5 games ago. What they need to do in the next series of games against insert team here. This was more my grandfathers who really did this. They always sat down and they talked Detroit Tigers. They were even more diehard fans than my father, brothers, nephews, and I. So that's what I can really think of. I don't know if there's necessarily anything that would spark debate in my wife's family. Or at least I'm drawing a blank on that. What about you all? What subject is guaranteed to spark a debate in your family? Let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, we will get to the reading. Again, we are in the Gospel of Mark, chapter 12, verses 13 through 17. Listen out for the word of our Lord. Later they sent some of the Pharisees and Herodians to Jesus to catch him in his words. They came to him and said, "Teacher, we know you are a man of integrity. You aren't swayed by men because you pay no attention to who they are, but you teach the way of God in accordance with the truth. Is it right to pay taxes to Caesar or not? Should we pay or shouldn't we?" But Jesus knew their hypocrisy. "Why are you trying to trap me?" he asked. "Bring me a denarius and let me look at it." They brought the coin, and he asked them, "Whose portrait is this? And whose inscription?" "Caesar's," they replied. Then Jesus said to them, "Give to Caesar what is Caesar's, and to God what is God's." And they were amazed at him. This is the word of our Lord. Thanks be to God. Our first question is, how would you describe Jesus' answer to the question from the Pharisees and the Herodians? Evasive, masterful, balanced, smart, diplomatic, or something else? I don't really see it as so much evasive. He's not evading the question. I would say it was definitely very smart and masterful. He knew exactly what they were doing. He gave an answer that was still very true, very honest. He wasn't being deceptive on any level. He put it in a way that was very plain and simple. There wasn't really any hidden message behind it. There wasn't any kind of deciphering as with a parable or something. I would say it was a very smart answer, the way he answered it, and it was very masterful how he just instantly thought of it. But that's my interpretation. What about you all? How do you describe Jesus' response to the Pharisees and the Herodians? Let me know in the comments below. Number 2, what is Jesus saying in the story? Both God and the government should be given their due. Government has rightful authority, but final authority must be to God. Pay taxes as a spiritual practice as well as a political obligation. Don't do any more for the government than you have to do. Definitely, God and government should be given their due. What is the government's? Give it to them, but don't give them more power. Don't give them more than they deserve. Don't give them more than what is theirs, essentially. Just as with God, God doesn't necessarily need our money. God does not have a wallet. God has no need for material money. But on the other hand, what God does want or need is our devotion, a sign of our willingness to sacrifice something that we hold dear, something that unfortunately has become a necessity in our society, to give part of what we have, part of what we are plentiful in, to help those who are less fortunate, who do not have as much. So God and government should be given their due. While I don't think that Jesus is necessarily arguing that, government has rightful authority, but final authority must be to God, that is a very valid point nonetheless. In the end, what president we voted for in insert election here, how many senators we saw come and go, how much we paid in taxes, these things do not make a difference. They don't. Final authority is with God. In the end, all that matters is what we have done for God, what we have given back to God. Let me know if you disagree. What is Jesus saying in the story? What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Number 3, what was your attitude towards authority in your younger days? What is your attitude toward it now? Highly obedient / compliant? Moderately obedient / compliant? Moderately rebellious, or something else? In my younger days, I would have been moderately obedient. I was somewhat of a troublemaker in elementary school. Once I got to middle school, high school, started to be more compliant, more obedient as time has gone on. I've been much more respectful of authority figures, given them their due. So I would say went from moderately obedient to highly obedient. What about you all? What was your attitude towards authority in your younger days, and what is your attitude towards it now? Let me know in the comments below. Number 4, what bothers you the most about government? Taxes, scandals, regulations, waste, nothing, something else. I think for me, the biggest thing that bothers me about government officials is, for lack of a better term, corruption. At this point in time, our politicians are funded more by large corporations than they are by the people. Therefore, because the NRA funds a certain politician, they listen more to what the NRA wants than what the people that actually put them in office vote for, or so it seems. And also there are a number, I would say with the corruption also greed. The fact that there are people who are underinsured, uninsured, underemployed, unemployed, simply because senators, representatives, the president will not take a simple pay cut. They don't need $300,000 a year. All they need is $150,000 or something to that effect. The president doesn't need $400,000. He only needs $200,000. So a 50% tax cut, that's more money every year that would go back to helping those who are hungry, homeless, impoverished in some way, shape, or form, helping to give those who are uninsured some level of insurance, those who are underinsured better insurance, something that meets their needs better. There's much more that could be done by the government, but that isn't, because they're too busy fighting with each other and trying to stay in power, essentially. But that's the opinion of one person. Take it for what it's worth. What about you all? What bothers you about government? Let me know in the comments below. Number 5, which of the following reflects the relationship between faith and civic responsibility? That's a weird word. Worded weirdly. Okay. Which of the following reflects the relationship between faith and civic responsibility you were taught growing up? Okay. Our loyalties are to God, country, family, and self, in that order. God is on the side of our country. Duty to country and duty to God are synonymous. We must obey God rather than men. The government is corrupt and is the enemy of faith. Look out for number 1. Don't do anything for the government you don't have to do. Something else. Well, what I was taught growing up will probably be closer to, God is on the side of our country. God bless America. In God we trust. One nation under God. You're basically I grew up in a generation where God was in anything and everything. It was printed on our money. It was in our Pledge of Allegiance. We sang God bless America every 4th of July. We have basically this high belief that in our country that, we are blessed by God. We are essentially God's chosen. And therefore, by serving our country, we are serving God. Granted, later in life, I learned that that is actually not the case. That's actually Christian nationalism, which is just straight up dangerous. But that's a whole other can of worms. But what I was taught growing up was that God is on the side of our country. What about you all? What were you taught growing up in regards to how faith and civic responsibility sort of relate to each other? Let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, we'll move on to the next question. Number 6. Today, how would you rank the following aspects of life in order of the loyalty that should be given them? 1 being the highest and 7 being the lowest. Okay, so your options are country, work, church, people in general, God, family, and self. How I would rank them is, if 1 is the highest, 7 is the lowest. God is number 1. You are responsible to God. Number 2 is yourself. You are a creation of God. You were formed in God's womb, or in your mother's womb. You were called into being. You have been given a purpose by God. So definitely you have a responsibility to yourself. That is a number 2. Church or family? I would say family is number 3. Now, family doesn't necessarily have to be blood relation. It doesn't even have to be the group of people you grew up with. If you consider a group of friends to be your family, if your guy friends are like brothers to you, your gal pals are like sisters to you, maybe they are your family. So I would say family is number 3. Church is sort of an extension of your family. You have brothers and sisters in Christ in the church, so church would be number 4 on my list. The church helps people. So responsibility then would be to people in general. You have a responsibility to people in general. Number 6. Number 6 would be the country. And number 7 would be work. Jobs begin, they end. You move around. People change careers all the time, especially with my generation. People have more than one career at the same time. We are bivocational more often than previous generations were. So, yeah, for me, it would be God, self, family, church, people in general, country, and work. But that's my opinion. What about you all? How would you rank those 7 in terms of most important to least important? Let me know in the comments. Number 7. If taxes are what you pay the government, what do you or should you give to God? Your very being. Your time, your talents, your energies. If you give that which you have a surplus of, whether that's you have a lot of cans of soup, you're not going to eat them all, give those to the church. They can either give it to a food pantry, they can start up a food pantry. If you have a lot of clothes, then you can give it to the church, and the church can use them as costumes in a play. They can donate them to the local Goodwill or not the Red Cross, another nonprofit organization. If you have extra money, definitely. Any money that you have excess of that you don't need for any purpose helps to fund mission projects, helps to fund, just having pastors that can help people understand the Word of God, interpret it, apply it to their lives. It keeps the lights on, water flowing, heat and cool flowing at the churches. It keeps the church buildings clean, gives you a nice, safe place that you can come to for prayer, for study, for direction. Basically, taxes belong to the government. Everything else belongs to God, is how I view it. So anything you have excess of, so if that's time, if that's energy, if that's talents, if that's something physical like food, clothing, money, give these things back to God, because all of these things can definitely help to further God's work in the world. But what do you all think? Should or do you give back to God? Let me know in the comments. Number 8. What prayer requests do you have for this coming week? That is our final question, as always. If you do have prayer requests, please leave those in the comment section down below. Please feel free to send me an email, give me a phone call, shoot me a text message. If you're in the area and you want to actually talk in person, my office hours are Monday through Thursday, 8 to noon, and any other time by appointment. I'm always willing to take time to sit down and talk with you, so please let me know how I can be of service to you. Otherwise, until tomorrow, stay well, stay safe, and God bless.